Today I want to talk to you about that it's okay. That wherever we are right now, to a certain point, it's okay. It might not be how you want it, but based on your past decisions or past experiences, where you are right now is where you're meant to be. Otherwise, you would have made different decisions or different reactions, and you'll be in a different place. So I want you to appreciate where you are right now, because you're here, your mind is alert, and you're now ready to take some insights in. So wherever you are, you're okay. You are okay, because I remember listening to, there's two things really. So I was meditating today, this morning. And so I'm going to bring up what my insight was. And it actually got me to think about something that I listened to years ago. And it was Alex Watts. And he was a great, I don't know what you would call him, maybe a philosopher really. And he said, and I'm going to completely ruin this, by the way. It's going to be nothing like how he said it. But I'm going to give you my best idea of it. So pretty much, if you can imagine going to sleep and you begin to dream your ideal life, and you begin to explore and do everything you've always wanted to do, and you had like a choice, in other words, like a lucid dream. If you don't know what a lucid dream is, or if you've never had one, I've had a few in my time, but a lucid dream is ultimately you're dreaming, but you're aware that you're dreaming, and you can actually create whatever you want in this dream. So if you want to fly, you're going to fly. If you want to visit somewhere, you're going to visit there. If you want special powers, you're going to have special powers. You see, lucid dreaming is pretty much you're consciously aware that you're asleep, and you can do whatever you want. Okay, so that is lucid dreaming, and I'm sure Alan Watts said that, imagine if you went into this lucid dream. What would you do? Would you maybe visit places you've always wanted to visit? Maybe you'd go on journeys around the world, or you'll be going on journeys and doing all these remarkable things. So you begin to experience all the things you've always wanted to when it comes to this lucid dream of yours. You look the way you want to look. You act and react. You attract the people into your life that you want. Because in this lucid dream of yours, you can do anything. And as time goes on in this lucid dream and you take on all the challenges, maybe you're saving people, maybe you're creating things, maybe you've done so much that you keep on doing more and more and more. And to the point where you're going through these many journeys and you're loving it. And you're doing everything, and you're changing a new story each time. Maybe you actually change different aspects of you, or you, like I said, you visit different places, or you do different jobs, or you do different things, and you begin to do that. Then after a while in this lucid dream where you can do anything, because you've done everything, or you've achieved everything that you want to in this lucid dream, you begin to then think of more challenges. So now you're lucid dreaming about things which are harder and more of a struggle. So like the challenges which allow you to grow still. I mean, it doesn't have to be crazy hard, but you're dreaming about things which are more of a journey, more of a challenge, you could say. I think that's the best word. So we're going through in this lucid dream, we're now finding more challenging things. And you keep on going through this lucid dream, having done all the things that you've always done, and you begin to do these new things, and you get more challenging and more challenging and more challenging, to the point when you begin to realize that actually, sometimes that struggle, that challenge, is actually more exciting than actually having the ability to do anything that you actually wanted. That the lucid dream becomes more like real life, where you begin to go through certain things, certain struggles, or certain issues, or have certain goals, but you don't want it to be too easy. So ultimately what I believe he's trying to say is that we can wish many things and we can want many things, and if we were to lucid dream them, eventually we would actually end up to the place where we are right now. Because we'll be ending up to a place where we do have challenge and we do have certain ideas of what we want, but not quite there yet. We might have these struggles or even some stresses or some issues. Because life is okay. We might not be completely happy, but the decisions we've made have allowed us to be and to become to this point. Now, this point right now is an awesome time to be, because it means you can consciously create what you want by talking to your unconscious mind or cultivating your thoughts, your feelings, and your behaviors to start to produce the results that you've always wanted but haven't quite got. So, as I said, lucid dreams are ultimately when you go to sleep and you become conscious that you're dreaming and you can create what you want. And as you start to create what you want, eventually you'll actually start to dream about certain struggles or journeys, because that's what we want. We want experience. And where we are right now is an experience for sure. And there's many things that we can put our attention to. So you might be putting your attention to all the struggles in your life. Because why? Because they're in the forefront of your mind and you're more aware of the things which are causing you pain over the things which give you joy. Because the things which are joyful are just nice feelings, and they're just very, I wouldn't say nothing, but they are feelings of like contentment, fulfillment. But if we have pain there, that struggle or that pain is more predominant in our mind. So what we have to do is change our relationship to how we see and experience the world around us. And I mentioned this yesterday on the last audio or last live video, where we have to change our relationship. Are we participating in our struggles and our stresses? Are we participating in the financial economy? Are we participating in other people's issues? So much so that we're losing our own energy. So today I'm talking more about enjoying where we are in this moment, to experience and switch our attention to what is right and what is okay. Because you are here in this moment based on your past experiences. But what we do in this present moment is the most powerful that we can ever be, because it's going to change the direction of our life, or it's going to take us down a new path. Now, we can keep on doing the same old thing, expecting different things, and that's what they call insanity, where you keep on trying to do the same thing over and over again and expecting a different outcome. So we have to get to that point when we begin to choose there's a different way of being in this world and we're actually worth it. Now, most of the time, due to not believing in ourselves, we start to doubt what we can and cannot do in this world. And it's the nature of the issue, expecting the worst to happen, or that we're going to act a certain way and fail, or even fear success. So the nature of limiting beliefs can be a part of the conflict, but that's okay as well. Because if we become at peace that the symptom or the issue that we may be experiencing can come down to limiting beliefs, we can still be at peace with that, knowing it doesn't have to be that way. So I don't know if that's very clear to you right now, but what I'm really trying to say is the symptom of our issue, the reality of what we're experiencing right now, is part of the problem. So the limiting belief and not thinking we can change as an individual, or we can not believing we can make an impact, or we can't act and react the way we want to, we can be at peace with that because that's part of the issue. We don't have to buy into it as much as long as we know it's just a belief that we're having right now. Now, we can change beliefs at any given moment, and that belief system we have can be ingrained because beliefs make up our world. They tell us what we can and cannot do. And over history, we have broken through certain beliefs, whether it be physical beliefs of what we think we can do when it comes to like the 4 or 5 minute mile, whichever one it was. We just believed that's all we could do until someone broke that belief system. And then suddenly everyone started to break that record even more, because then there was opportunity. There's so many belief systems that we've had over time which we've actually let go of when someone has proved that belief to be wrong. So even if you don't know that you can change, or even if you don't believe that you can change your life or let go of the certain symptoms of that you're experiencing right now, what you want to be able to do is be at peace. But that's just a belief system that we're experiencing. And ultimately, an experience is a subject thing. So I'm going quite out there today because I'm in that kind of mood and I'm in a very blissful state. I mean, that's what happens when you start to have fun in your life. You start to change your thoughts and your feelings. So when we begin to when we begin to realize that life is simply an experience, it's something that we're participating in, and there's some things that we do not have to participate in. We do not have to act and react in a certain way. In other words, it doesn't have to be a truth. It doesn't have to be a fact that you're going to always be the same way, or you're always going to get the same results. It might be a part of the symptom. What you're experiencing is telling you what is true or not right now. But it doesn't have to be that way. And it's usually down to what we're focusing on. If you're focusing on your issue, as I said right at the beginning, you begin to experience those symptoms and they're at the forefront of your mind, and therefore that is your present truth. But we have to begin to shift our attention to what is light and what is good for us. And one thing, as I said, I was meditating this morning, and one of the things I was meditating on, that life is good. Because in my life, it's not always good. I go through struggles, I go through things, and as I said, it's all a journey. It's an experience that I'm participating in, and there's certain things I can and cannot control. I might not be able to control my external experience, but what I can do is control my reaction to it. And that's the key here, that if we begin to get that meta perspective, that we're just experiencing the world around us based on what we believe, based on our past experiences or our past reactions or the decisions we've made, that is how we experience the world, but that is not truth. We can change that. We can change our focus. If you look at any movie or any great story, that person was going through a struggle. Maybe not straight away, everything's fine, then a struggle comes in, and then that character begins to find resources and starts to make decisions and starts to change the direction of their life or their path, which then allows them to be the hero of their own journey. And that's what I want you to think about your life. Right now, you've come into this existence and into life, and you've experienced certain things. Now imagine that this point in your life is waking up that it doesn't always have to be this way. That your issues or symptoms do not have to be a fact in terms of longevity, but they're simply behaviors or beliefs that we've created or chosen to be taken on that we can unchoose. Now, don't take it all the wrong way. I'm not saying it's easy, but it can be done, and that's the key. It's about, yes, building those positive habits. It's about building positive mindsets. It's about cultivating your thoughts and allowing yourself to allow this life to be a process of journey and learning. And I've always thought about life, and like the meaning of it is to create meaning from life. It's not what life brings to you, it's what you bring to life. And it's what you start to create in your world. And it's what you start to create in your mind to begin to focus. So as I was meditating this morning, I was really focusing on that life is good. And I can choose to participate in the goodness in life, or I can choose to participate in what is bad in the world. Because we can get taken down. American people remind me of this. Do you remember, my wife tells me about this, and I've seen 1 or 2 episodes. Is it Mr. Rogers? Does anyone know that TV show, by the way? It was a long time ago. I think it was called Mr. Rogers. I'm going to wait for some feedback to make sure I'm correct here. Yes, okay. Now, he said, and it was one of these great, if you're in America, you know the show. I'm sure it's probably what you just grew up with, and I wish people in England had something like that. And he said about when there is trauma in the world, Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, okay, great. So when there's trauma in the world or there's bad things happening in the world, look for the helpers, because we can focus on the bad things. We can focus on what the media is telling us. Or we can even focus on the bad behaviors that we have, or the symptoms that we have, or what all the craziness that we're going through right now. And like I said, I go through stuff. I'm never going to say that I'm superhuman. I'm never going to say I'm free of all issues. It's a journey. But what I was meditating on is that I can choose to participate in the fun and the joy in my world. So as he said, when there is stress or there is bad in the world, look for the helpers. Look for those who are doing good. And when you begin to see the world in that way, you begin to see humanity, you begin to see hope, and you start to see faith, or you start to see brilliance, or you begin to see courage, or you start to see someone being a warrior and just doing their thing. And as you start to see that, you can then begin to bring it out inside of yourself. Now, on the flip side, if all you're thinking about your issues right now, which, like I said, is predominant in our mind, but we can choose to see, just like seeing the good in the world, we can start to see the good inside of ourselves. I believe we're all pure. To the deepest of who we are pure on the inside, and wherever we want to be, there's always peace in ourselves, there's always contentment, there's always fun, there's always joy, there's always excitement, there's always confidence, there's always positive. On the contrary, obviously, there can always be something else there too, like the symptoms. But if we start to begin to just look for the joy in the world, or if we look to see what is going well in the world, or you start to look at your qualities in this world, and you start to begin to shift your focus to what is good in your world. I mean, I like to think the nature of you watching this means you're invested in yourself, and I think that's a great quality to have. I think it's the most beautiful quality that we can have, because we want to develop ourselves, which will transform other people too. So really, like I said, I was really just meditating on that, and I was thinking about just participating in the joy in my life. Because if I start to participate in the joy and what is good, I mean, think about it this way. It just popped into my mind. You have 100% of something, right? Now, if you put 100% of that something over here, that's all you get. But if we start to move, say, 10% of that something over here instead, less energy is over here now. Because 90%, 10%. Now, if we start to keep on moving that percentage over here until we start to move, there's less over here, okay? Now, think about that as this philosophy in life where you're choosing to participate more in the peace or the joy or the qualities of who you are. So if you start to participate and put your attention to what is good in your life, you're spending less energy on what is not good in your life. So you're spending less energy in what is scarcity. You're spending less energy which is doubt. You're spending less energy which is low self-esteem or low confidence or what anxiety is. You're spending less time over here because you're putting more energy over here. Now, as you start to do that, that starts to build, not just in the conscious mind, by the way, but it starts to build that habit that every so often you'll start to see that little good thing which is happening in your world. You'll start to see, you look in the mirror and you start to see that smile of yours, or you start to see that quality of your face or your physique, or you begin to see that quality, you do something good and you start to recognize that. You start to become conscious of what is happening. So you're beginning to shift your energy. And as I said, we get to that point of going through experiences that everything is okay right now. Everything is okay. You are where you're meant to be in this point of time. And now people say to Joseph, well, how can that possibly make sense? How did I choose to be in this situation for having depression or anxiety? Well, I'm not saying you consciously chose it. I'm just saying that the events that from zero, from day one, or from second one, we go through life, and we start to go through experiences, and based on our reaction to those experiences, regardless if there's good people in the world or bad people in the world, we have reacted to the world, which has taken us to this moment right here. You watching me, or listening to me, or being in this present moment right here. Based on our past, it's taken us to here. So what we do here is we start to shift our attention. We realize that right now, can be the most beautiful moment. It can be the most insightful moment because we're becoming awake. We're becoming awake to what is truth. Now, what is truth? Well, truth is whatever you would want it to be. And that's the way it is. I mean, Henry Ford said, whether you're right or whether you think you're right or wrong, you're right. Because it's your belief system. It's the beliefs that we're buying into. So we just have to allow our mind to gently shift its decisions, its ideas, its thoughts, and our feelings to what is good. Like Mr. Rogers would say, look for the helpers in the world. Or, as I'm saying to you right now, do exactly that. He's far wiser than me, or was far wiser than me. But to begin to shift your attention to what is good. I mean, think about it right now. If you're on Periscope or if you're on Facebook, consider what is good in your life. Because you might be clouded with negativity or anxiety or doubts, but what is good right now? What is good in your life? And you can write that down. You can post it in the comment feed if you want, and it will give inspiration to other people. So what is good in your world? Consider it in your mind right now. What is good? What is great? What is working? What are you doing right now which is working? Now you could say, someone here said, I was going to just say this. Annan said, I'm learning to be me. That's perfect. And someone else said, Coding Over 40 says, right now, everything. You see, it's all a choice. I'm not saying it's an easy choice, by the way, but when you think about this, how many people in the world are just happening on autopilot thinking life is meant to be the way it is for them? But not us right now. We're considering an alternative, where many people do not consider an alternative. They think that life is that way and that they're always going to be that way. But if you've stuck with me to this point, on this video or from my audios or from my videos or from my app or my podcast, all my work, if you join me today or if you join me since 10, 15 years ago, since I've been doing this, you're going to start to realize that you are the one who is now waking up and choosing far more. And it's one of those things where life either happens to us and we go with that, or we start to direct it into a new way. We start to, like I said, we shift our energy from what is all the bad and crazy in the world or in ourselves to the helpers in the world over here, or to the wonderful qualities of who you are. Now, even if you don't believe it, guys, you are wonderful. You are really capable. You don't know it. I'm sure many of you do know this, but you are capable. You are able. You are worthy, and you are good enough. You are that kind of person that is able to transform your own life. You see, the things that I say are just my own experience of what I'm experiencing with those people I've worked with. I like to think I'm pretty good at what I do, but it's still simply my experience. And you are the true change maker. You have to instigate change on your own behalf. You might get advice from me or other people in your life, and that's awesome. I love that. But you can also realize you are the instigator of change. You are the instigator of who you are, and you can feel blessed and full of gratitude, but that is what you're doing right now. You're realizing this is a journey, and sometimes in a deep down on the inside of you, you might not even have it any other way to a certain degree, because if everything was perfect in your life, if everything was wonderful in your life, and you were just completely this wholesome, 100% of you, whole, content, and just full of love and peace in 100%, then you're not going to really know that you're alive. It sounds weird, but if you're 100% perfect in every way, then you're not quite able to experience life. Because life is about experiencing things, good and bad or indifferent. Life is about experiencing. And sometimes, and let me tell you this, and I've told you this before as well, on the last one, that our issues can be our greatest strengths. And you might go, that's crazy, Joseph, but think about it. If it wasn't for my low self-esteem in myself, where I really disliked myself, I really did not believe I was good enough, I felt totally incapable at many things. If I did not have that shadow or that conflict in my life, I would not be here right now. I would not be communicating to all these people. I mean, like I said, I've checked my stats more often than I should. But on the podcast, about 7,000 downloads a day, which is, it blows my mind that people are doing that, by the way. But if it wasn't for my own issues, I would not be here right here. But I made a decision to transform because of my issues. But if I was completely whole and at peace and confident and things like that, the chances are I wouldn't be here. Or at the very least, I might be doing it, but I would not be speaking my own personal truth, having gone through low self-esteem or having gone through not believing I was good enough or worthy. So sometimes, and you might not realize it yet because we're going through stuff. I get that. I'm not trying to simplify it. I'm not trying to say that, feel crazy happy to be here, although I'm really in debt and manically depressed. I'm not saying that at all. What I am saying is that sometimes for our greatest struggles will allow us to become our greatest hero. For our greatest negativity or stresses in our life, it can allow us to light up the world and make it a better place. So if we were completely whole, if we were completely content and fulfilled, I don't know, would we really get that much meaning out of life? And I don't even know the answers to this, by the way. I'm just kind of putting it out there into the world. But if we didn't have something like a variety of feelings, good, bad, or indifferent, if we didn't have that variety of experiences, good, bad, or indifferent, then it's going to get pretty much a boring life. Like I said, and let's tie this all the way back in. I said about lucid dreaming. Now, lucid dreaming is about going to sleep at night, and for some people, you can learn to do this. I've done it a few times. I haven't really learned how to do it or anything, but I've had a few spontaneous lucid dreams where you go to sleep and you're in a dream and you realize that you are in a dream, and it's almost like you're in a dream, but you're aware of this dream, and you can start to create things in this dream, and you go through all these adventures, and you start to be able to go to all these places you've always wanted to, and you start to live out all this thing, and you just experience all the things that you wanted to, and then it becomes too easy. It becomes too easy because you have total control over your life. You have total, if you want longer hair in this lucid dream, you get longer hair. You just have to blink and it happens. If you want to be in Africa, you just, in this lucid dream, when you're asleep and you're aware of your dream, you just think it and you'll be in Africa. Of course, it's just a dream, but it's like, that's what happens in lucid dreaming. You start to consciously become aware of it, and you start to create what you want. Now, after a period of time of being in that lucid dream, guess what's going to happen? Having done everything and having got life the way you wanted it, you're going to want variety. And that variety begins to make you begin to sing again. You want that challenge. Sometimes you want that struggle because it's a journey. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be easy. But we can realize it's okay. Where we are right now is okay to a certain point because we're waking up to the fact that we can shift our attention and our energy to something far greater than us, our potential, our way of being in this world. And we can bring life to ourselves based on the issues we're experiencing right now. We can shift our attention and allow that to expand onto the qualities, the helpers in the world. We can begin to do that. The other side of it is that we can start to make empowering decisions by waking up to the fact that actually it's not what life is giving me, but it's what I'm bringing to life. Rather being a product of life, you will allow life to be a product of what you choose to create. And ultimately, the power is within us, and our attention has to be shifted to our own power. I mean, that's what I like to do with my clients or my mind mastery. I want to be able to get people's thoughts and feelings to where it needs to be, rather the outside, trying to change all the outside stuff. Sometimes we just got to go on the inside of us and kind of make the changes there, and then everything else will change because of that. So does that make sense? So like I said, that's what I was meditating on today. Pretty heavy stuff, right? Just for a meditation. And by the way, for Mind Mastery members, I'm going to create this evening or tomorrow that meditation for you. Okay, so you can actually begin to shift your attention. So Mind Mastery members, I'll let you know in the private Facebook group, but you will get that meditation by this evening or by tomorrow. And it's just like a meditation on shifting our attention to what is good, that everything is okay, and allow our unconscious mind to experience more of that. So Mind Mastery members, you'll be getting that tonight or tomorrow. That's what will be happening. So for everyone else, oh, by the way, for those who want to get access to that as well, just go to josephclough.info/mindmastery. You'll get access there. But either way, I hope you enjoyed this lesson. Oh my goodness, we're at 34 minutes. So I appreciate all the hearts on Periscope and all the shares on Periscope. And I appreciate all the wonderful comments on both platforms. And if you guys are on Facebook, please go ahead and share this video. It might wake some more people up in the world. And think about this, the more people who wake up, we're shifting that energy elsewhere, and that starts to build. We're really helping more people in this world. So, yeah, have the most wonderful day. And as I said, go to josephclough.info/mindmastery. That is what this show is sponsored by. And I really look forward to speaking to you soon. My intention is to be here tomorrow at 5:30 Central Time, which is what, 3:30 West Coast. East Coast would be 6:30. England time is 11:30 p.m. And you people, rest of the world, I have no blooming idea, but I think you're going to get the idea. There's when I'm usually on. So with that, I'll wish you a wonderful evening, and I look forward to speaking to you soon. So many thanks and goodbye.